The Roman Empire. Just saying the name conjures images of gladiators, emperors, and a civilization that spanned continents. It was a realm of unparalleled power and influence, stretching from the windswept coasts of Britannia to the sun-drenched sands of Egypt. They had roads, aqueducts, and underfloor heating for Jupiter's sake. These innovations were the backbone of their society, showcasing their engineering prowess and forward-thinking mentality. Yet this colossus didn't last forever. The grandeur of Rome eventually gave way to decay and ruin. How did such a seemingly unstoppable force crumble? What were the cracks in the foundation that led to its downfall? The fall of the Roman Empire is one of history's greatest puzzles. Scholars have debated it for centuries, each offering different theories and insights. It wasn't a single event, but a slow burn over centuries, a gradual decline marked by a series of missteps and misfortunes. Imagine a once-packed party slowly emptying out as people drift away, some leaving early, others staying till dawn. It's complicated. The decline was a multifaceted process, involving numerous factors and players. This essay explores the factors that led to Rome's demise. We'll piece together the puzzle, examining each fragment of history. We'll delve into internal struggles, like political turmoil and economic woes. Corruption, power struggles, and financial crises plagued the empire. We'll also look at external pressures, such as those pesky barbarians. Invasions and relentless attacks from various tribes chipped away at Rome's strength finally. We'll examine the lasting impact of Rome's fall on Europe and the world. The echoes of Rome's legacy can still be felt today, influencing modern governance, architecture, and culture. Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride through history. Join us as we journey through the rise and fall of one of the greatest empires the world has ever known.
Imagine a government so dysfunctional, even modern politicians would blush. That was the late Roman Empire. Emperors rose and fell faster than you could say Veni, Vidi, Vici. Coups, assassinations, and civil wars were as common as chariot races. One minute you're emperor, lounging in your toga, the next you're dodging poisoned grapes. This constant power struggle meant long-term planning went out the window. Think of it like trying to build a Lego Colosseum while your little brother keeps shaking the table. Not ideal. This instability trickled down. Governors, generals, and even tax collectors were constantly looking over their shoulders. Loyalty became fleeting, and personal ambition often trumped the good of the empire. In this climate of fear and uncertainty, the empire slowly began to unravel from within. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it didn't go bankrupt in a day either. Centuries of lavish spending and constant warfare took their toll. Imagine throwing a toga party every night for a century. Your toga budget might be a tad strained. The empire faced crippling inflation, dwindling trade, and over-reliance on slave labor. Think of it like trying to pay for your chariot with increasingly worthless denarii. Not a good look. To make matters worse, agricultural production declined. Remember those droughts and famines? They didn't help. A hungry population is rarely a happy one. With empty stomachs and emptier pockets, the Roman people grew increasingly disillusioned with their leaders.
Now, let's talk about those barbarians. Imagine hordes of people with names like Alaric and Attila showing up at your doorstep, demanding food and land. Not exactly the ideal house guests. These weren't just mindless invaders, though. Many were fleeing the Huns, a fierce nomadic group pushing westward. It was like a giant, violent game of musical chairs. And guess who got left standing? The Romans tried to hold them off, but centuries of internal strife had weakened their defenses. It's hard to fight off invaders when you're too busy fighting amongst yourselves. The barbarians, sensing weakness, pressed their advantage, chipping away at the empire's borders. Section 5. Cracks in the armor. Roman military struggles. The Roman army, once the envy of the known world, began to show signs of strain. Imagine your once mighty legionnaires more interested in discussing philosophy than sharpening their gladius. Not exactly the fighting spirit of old. Centuries of constant warfare had taken their toll. The army was stretched thin, defending borders from Persia to Britain. It's like trying to guard a villa the size of a continent with a handful of tired centurions. To make matters worse, the army increasingly relied on foreign recruits, often the very same barbarians they were fighting. Imagine training your future conquerors. Awkward. These factors combined to weaken the Roman military, making the empire vulnerable to attacks.
Section 6, Last Stand. Emperors in the twilight of an empire. As the empire crumbled, a series of emperors tried and mostly failed to stem the tide. Each new leader faced insurmountable challenges, from internal strife to external invasions. Imagine being handed the reins of a chariot careening towards a cliff edge. The sense of impending doom was palpable. That's Roman leadership in the 5th century for you. Chaos, uncertainty, and a desperate struggle to maintain control. There were glimmers of hope, moments when it seemed like the tide could be turned. Emperors like Constantine and Theodosius implemented reforms and won crucial victories. They brought a brief respite, a fleeting sense of stability. But it was too little, too late. The foundations of the empire were already too weakened. It's like patching up a sinking ship with a band-aid. The efforts, though valiant, were ultimately futile. In 476 CE, the last Roman emperor in the West, Romulus Augustulus, ironic, right, was deposed by a barbarian general named Odoacer. This marked the official end of the Western Roman Empire. It wasn't a dramatic Hollywood ending, more of a whimper than a bang. The fall was gradual, almost anticlimactic. Still, this event marked a turning point in history, the end of an era. The Roman Empire, once a symbol of power and grandeur, had finally succumbed to the sands of time.
Section 7. The fall, or not, different perspectives on the end of Rome. Now, here's where historians get into a heated debate. Did Rome actually fall? Some argue it was more of a transformation. Think of it like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, just less beautiful and with more bloodshed. They point to the continuation of Roman culture, law and language in the East Roman Empire, also known as Byzantium. Imagine Rome as a coin, the West fell apart, but the East kept flipping. Others argue that the fall was real, a catastrophic collapse that ushered in centuries of chaos and decline. It's like your favourite band breaking up, sure. They might have solo careers, but it's not the same. The truth, as always, is probably somewhere in between.
Section 8. A New Order, the Emergence of Medieval Europe. With the Roman Empire in the West gone, a new Europe began to take shape. Imagine a giant game of civilization starting up, with different barbarian groups vying for control. New kingdoms emerged, often blending Roman and Germanic traditions. It was a time of great upheaval, but also of creativity and innovation. Think of it like a remix, taking the best of Roman culture and adding some barbarian flair. This period saw the rise of Christianity as the dominant religion in Europe. The church provided stability and continuity in a time of great change. It also laid the groundwork for the development of medieval society with its feudal system and emphasis on religious faith. Section 9. Legacies of Rome, Law, Language and Culture. Even though the Roman Empire in the West was gone, its legacy lived on. Imagine finding Roman ruins scattered across Europe, a constant reminder of a glorious past. Roman law, language and architecture continued to influence European civilization for centuries. It's like inheriting a vast library from your ancestors, full of knowledge and wisdom. The Latin language evolved into the Romance languages, spoken by millions today. Roman engineering feats like aqueducts and roads continued to be used and admired. And let's not forget the Roman legal system, which formed the basis for legal codes throughout Europe.
Section 10. Rome's lessons for today, relevance in the modern world. What can we learn from the fall of the Roman Empire? Quite a bit, actually. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of political instability, economic inequality, and military overstretch. Sound familiar? The Roman experience reminds us that even the most powerful empires are not invincible. They can crumble from within, weakened by their own internal contradictions. It's a reminder that we should never take our own societies for granted. By studying the past, we can gain valuable insights into the present and the future. It's like having a crystal ball, but instead of seeing the future, we see the past, which can be just as enlightening.
Section 11 conclusion. The enduring enigma of Rome's fall. The fall of the Roman Empire was a complex process, a slow-motion collapse driven by a perfect storm of internal and external factors. It was not a single event, but a series of misfortunes and missteps that accumulated over centuries. It wasn't just one thing, but a combination of political turmoil, economic woes, barbarian invasions, and military decline. Each of these elements played a crucial role in weakening the empire's foundations, making it vulnerable to collapse. The empire's demise marked the end of an era, but it also paved the way for the emergence of medieval Europe. This transition was not just a fall, but a transformation that led to new beginnings and the birth of a different world. Rome's legacy lived on, influencing law, language, culture, and many aspects of daily life. The Roman legal system, for instance, became the foundation for many modern legal codes and even the way we think about power and decline. The political ideas and debates of ancient Rome continue to resonate in contemporary discussions about governance and authority. The fall of the Roman Empire continues to fascinate and inspire us today. Scholars and enthusiasts alike delve into its history, seeking to understand the reasons behind its rise and fall. It reminds us that even the greatest civilizations are not immune to the forces of history. The story of Rome serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of human achievements. It's a story full of drama, intrigue, and valuable lessons for our own time. The political machinations, the battles, and the cultural shifts all offer insights into the nature of power and its eventual decline. So, the next time you see a crumbling building, remember even empires fall. The ruins stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time and the enduring enigma of Rome's fall.